Hello and welcome back to our series on looking through the cards that I got in this Topps Super Sports Card Locker towards the end of August in 2020. We're on our 22nd day, so we have 21 days, a full 3 weeks behind us, 9 days or so left in front of us. So let's go ahead and get to day 22. Like yesterday, these are all brown, mushy cardstocks. I'm betting on some more 78 Topps. Let's see what we got. 78 Topps, Charlie Huff, knuckleballer, pitched forever. Doug Rowell, Dodgers. Dave Roberts. I wonder how many Dave Roberts there have been in Major League Baseball. Airbrushed Cubs cap. Who he played with the year before. Split 77 with the Tigers and the Cubs. Okay. Then we got Bake McBride, great name for the Phillies. Tommy Helms with the Red Sox. Chris Spire for the Expos. Rubbing some rosin on his hands there. Who is that in the background? Wayne Nordhagen or something? What is this, an all-star game? Or I'm not sure what's going on there. American versus National somehow or other. Maybe. There's Rick Monday. I think we saw that card a couple of days ago. Skip Jutsi. How would you say that name? Massive mustache under the Mariners trident. It's kind of a cool effect. And there's the Mariners first. Well, it's the Mariners team card from '78 showing their picture of their first team. In '77 with the King Dome behind them. Not going to see a lot of household names on this list. Although let's see, who do we have? Dave Collins was a pretty good player. Julio Cruz was a good player. Tom House became a pitching coach. Rupert Jones. Dan Meyer was a young slugger. Larry Milbourne had some good years. Craig Reynolds was around for a while. Enrique Romo was too. Bill Stein. More or less, no big stars. There's Daryl Johnson as a player and as manager for the Mariners. So they played with a lot of different teams, looks like, from 52 through 62. I think that picture is a Cardinals uniform. Yeah, black and white Cardinals shot. There's a massive airbrush job with John Hale. Kind of looks like the greatest American hero guy there. I can't remember what his name is. Ooh, Darrell Evans. Big old slugger numbers that he put up into his 40s, at least his early 40s. Underrated guy, I think. I still think he has an outside shot at the Hall of Fame, too. I say two because we talked about other guys in this series that might. So we'll see if he ever gets any love. If you look up like his wins above replacement, which you may or may not like, you'll see that he ranks well with some of the guys that are in the Hall and some of the guys that get talked about as being Hall worthy. There's Ivan de Jesus. Fell in love with his name the first time I heard it on some broadcast. Cecil Cooper, another guy who could possibly get some Hall of Fame love. Big, tall, lanky first baseman. Really great hitter for several years. Somebody pointed out to me the other day that his 1980 season was pretty incredible. I think he hit like 352. Would have won the batting title if George Brett had missed on another 10 or 15 plate appearances. Brett just barely had enough to qualify. Of course, Brett hit 390. There's a Padres team card, 78. So they won't have a lot of huge names. There is Dave Winfield, though. All right. And, they probably have, who else? Maybe Raleigh Fingers? Yeah. And Randy Jones, who was Cy Young winner at some point, maybe in 77. 78 Topps Expos card. Wow, they just got swallowed up in all the green turf and outfield wall there. Got some stuff checked off. Somebody had a Gary Carter card. That's pretty awesome. And You could also get a Tony Perez and a Steve Rogers. Not bad. The Expos had some great players and great teams, on into the 80s. Just never could quite put it all together. Padres manager Alvin Dark as a player and a manager. You can see he played for a good long time. Ended up with a 289 average and almost 2,100 hits from 46 through 60. You don't hear about him a whole lot, but there's just so many good to great players in baseball that just are kind of lost to the ages. So we'll celebrate them while we have them in front of us here, like Mr. Alvin Dart. Here's the 78 Topps rookie pitchers. Steve Burke, Matt Keogh, Lance Ralston, Rauchon. Okay, Dan Schatzeder. So Schatzeder and Keogh both had decent major league careers. The dreaded checklist cards. Are these checked? They're all bent up, so somebody took out their frustration at least. Look at that. I remember doing that kind of thing to checklist cards. They didn't bother to mark them though. That's okay. Tucker Ashford. Not to be confused with the Reds' Tucker Barnhart. There's the great old Pirates uniforms with the pillbox hat and the sort of pinstripes. Not really pinstripes. I don't know what you would call those, lane stripes or something. Jim Rooker. Mario Mendoza, the Mendoza line guy. It's interesting though. He's above his own line here, and I think he ended up above that line for his career. Have to look that one up to be sure. Odell Jones. More of the Pirates. Cool looking uniforms. And here's the 78 Topps Pirates team card. You can see the scoreboard in the background there. With the Pirates head and it says Pirates 77. These guys have the yellow jerseys, and of course you're going to see some big names here. Those Pirates teams all through the 70s were pretty darn good. Mike Easler, Jim Fregosi, Phil Garner, Grant Jackson, Odell Jones, who we just saw, Bruce Keeson, Mario Mendoza, Al Oliver, Ed Ott, Dave Parker, Jerry Royce, Bill Robinson, Willie Stargell, Randy Stennett, Chuck Tanner was a manager, Kent DeCalve. Great teams that they put together. Pete McCannon for the Montreal Expos. So these are, again, all 78 Topps, it looks like. Jackie Brown for the Expos. A heavily airbrushed Woody Fryman. Looking a little more chipper than he would in some of his later cards, like 81 Topps. I think we saw that the other day. Oh, they airbrushed out my Reds. He was with the Reds in 77. Oh, well, he went to the Cubs. There's another Expos team card. This one's all bent up and not marked up though. Okay, John LaHoud. I don't really remember, or Joe LaHoud. I don't really remember him. Good batting cage card though. Young Buck Martinez with no mustache. I knew that face looked familiar, but I couldn't place it until I read the name. And then we end up with Mark Littell. Is it Littell or Little? I'll say Littell. So another hunk of 1978 Topps cards for day 22 of our Topps Super Sports Card Locker break. See ya on day 23.